Right, cut that bit, don't put that in.
That's compression. It's got compression.
This is a 1970 Mazda Cosmo. Dawn, the daddy of all rotary powered Mazdas. An absolute legend in its own right. At the time of its release, the engine was so revolutionary, it set the world on fire for all high-revving sports cars. There was just over 1,000 of these cars ever made, and that includes Series 1 and Series 2, which were built from 1967 to 1972. A later model did get released, but it wouldn't come close to the absolute legendary shape, style and class of the Series 1 and Series 2. These cars were meticulously built by hand at a speed of 1 unit per day. This beautiful example is a 1970 Series 2 110S, which is powered by a 10A engine, 128 brake horsepower and a 5-speed gearbox. Now, from speaking with the previous owner who owned this car for 5 years, he told us that this car has been in Japan, New York, Greece, France and landed in our hands here in the UK. This car is undeniably rare and looks mostly complete, only with a few iconic parts missing, which are almost impossible to find. It does, however, come with its original engine and gearbox, which were removed from the car several years ago. The good news is that the engine turns freely by hand, which usually they're seized. I still cannot believe that we actually own this car. Now, that's a little bit of a history about the car. Now we're going to have a walk around and show you the condition, and then we're going to start taking this apart.
Well, obviously there's a lot of rust to repair. There's the floor pans, the sills, but thankfully it looks like all the structure and all the chassis is in good order. Right, we have been inside here previously just to have a look at the condition. So we do kind of know, but on closer inspection it's even better than we imagined. When you look inside here, inside all these chassis, inside the cradle, everything, it's all really solid. Now, as Ryan mentioned, the gearbox and the engine are out of the car, but the engine does rotate freely, which is always a plus, and the gearbox feels nice and crisp. And as well as that, it looks like we've got all of the rest of the engine components and most of the trim. Now, we do know, as Ryan said, we have a few missing parts, but as a whole, it's all here. Right, now the sills and the floor pan, and especially where this accelerator, just let me, right, this is the accelerator pedal. I'll deal with that later. But the sill sections and the floor on the edges are gone. That's me. So, if we move this out of the way, look. As you can see, it's all the edges. Now, the biggest part of the floor pan is this section. The rest of it, from there, the transmission tunnel, all the way over to the other side, and it's exactly the same on the other side, are absolutely solid. It's just the edges.
Now, as you can see, this car is in dire need of repair, and I mean, look at this. These sills need a lot of work. Now, as well as all that rust that has fallen out of that sill, we've also got this section here, which I'm going to very delicately remove. Ah, okay.
Ow.
Oh dear. Right, it's fine, don't worry about that bit. So, the bottom of the wing down here also needs a little bit of repair. Nice.
Right, so now Ryan's made some go faster gaps. Let's start taking it apart.
Oh, look at this. He says 1,000 on it. Oh, 1,000 Japanese yen. That's probably like £5. Now, it's these kind of features that actually separate this car from other cars. Now, you can see this nice leather vinyl sort of situation going on here. You've got these compartments. This one's got the battery in it. Got these luggage straps on the back, so this is where you sort of like stored everything on the back. And you've also got some seat belts, which I've never ever seen seat belts like this before. Right, cut that bit, don't put that in. It's kind of disintegrated underneath anyway, so we do need to replace this. And luckily, this was already damaged on the top. It's got a couple of holes in the top and it's just final. So what we can do is we can actually make some new ones of these. At least we've got the template. Right, I can't help but notice this huge hole that probably shouldn't be there. Now, the other side is not the same. The other side is probably standard. I have no idea why this is here, but we're going to weld it up. Now that's all that we've got time for in this video. As you can see, there's a lot of work, but it's definitely a worthy project. Make sure you catch us in the next video where we continue stripping this car and hopefully we investigate that bodywork. With that being said, we'll catch you in the next one.